long time coming, but we back, man. We back. Rodgers and Entrees is officially back with episode 31. It's been a long time coming. I know we've been gone for a while, but we back. Like I said, man, we missed everybody. I hope y'all missed us, and I hope y'all glad that we're back. Once again, man, let's do the introductions real quick. My name is James.
My name is Kenny. We here bringing casual conversations to life, and we got a couple returning guests that's definitely coming back. Before we get started, James, on this long hiatus break that we had, how you doing, man? What's been going? What's new with you?
Oh man, nothing, man. Just outside. That's what I'm at. I'm outside, man.
Yeah, man.
Everybody. I'm glad to see you guys. Everybody surviving the COVID situation and everything like that. Everybody's still healthy and all that stuff. Before we move forward though, with you, Ken, I just always, like I said, Rodgers and Entrees, I'm always shout my man out. Rest in peace to my man Ronald Pittman Jr.
Yep.
JR. I'm always do that every show, or at least try to keep his name alive. But other than that, Kenny, I'm good, man. Happy to be here. Happy to be back. Back in the car, man. Back in the seat, man. Back in the Rodgers and Entrees seat, man. How about you, man? How you living?
Hey, man.
How you feeling?
I'm good, man. This is our third year, man. Like we had this was an idea 3 years ago. I'm happy that we still trucking, still moving, still going. I got plenty of ideas with where to take this podcast to the next level. So, but other than that, man, I've been working and just enjoying these sports, man, and enjoying placing these bets and all this stuff on these games and these fights, and which brings us here to this episode here, man, with a couple of guests that we definitely invited back. But we gonna got a new style, new flavor on how we're gonna do this today. And let's go ahead and invite our guest, James. Go ahead and introduce
our guest. All right, let's start with our one of the big homies, man, Big E down there, Biz Bros and Whiskey, man. This podcast, he got a couple of podcasts actually. So I'm gonna let him speak his
shout out.
Call.
Oh nah, man. Hey, thanks for having me, fellas. Bros being Whiskey, by the way. So check it
out. My bad. You're right. Bros being Whiskey. My bad.
But nah, man, thanks for having me, man. I'm glad to be on the show, man, to talk some sports betting, man. That's why I'm late, because I was catching on the bet. Yeah.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Hey, man, you gotta invite us back to the pod, man. Definitely come back.
Oh for sure. Season 3, man. I'm gonna have y'all on, bro.
I'm gonna introduce this other guy, man, who's big into that sports game, man, and that's one of the reasons why we on the show. Man, Chuck, man, I'm gonna let him introduce himself, man, talk a little bit about himself. I'm gonna go get me some whiskey since we on here with y'all. You know what I'm saying? But introduce yourself, bro.
All right, what's going on, everybody? It's your man Chuck Rico D, professional gambler, known sports betting legislator, civil rights lawyer, civil lawyer, family lawyer, all in one. Here to go talk to everybody about sports betting, sports legislation, taxes, and all of that good stuff. What's going on in Las Vegas, Nevada, where I'm based?
Oh, cool. Yeah, we definitely
going spots too, sir.
Absolutely. Me and E had an epic trip there last year around December, man. So definitely got into some sports betting and everything, man. So I'm definitely glad to have you here today. Have both you guys here today. And I'm sitting here going back and forth looking at these playoff games and things like that. Let's get into the playoffs real quick. We got Boston went home today. Oh no, not Boston.
They did.
Milwaukee went home today.
Oh, okay.
I wanted Boston to go home today, but Milwaukee went home today. And so let's go ahead and get into right now the Suns and the Mavs playing and stuff like that. Let's talk about some of the bets and stuff that we start with E, man. Like go ahead and tell your little story where you came back from.
So yeah, man. I was in VA and I had to go there because as y'all know, mobile sports betting is not allowed in Maryland. So I had a parlay yesterday, and I was nervous about the Suns game, and I was like, you know what? I was 4 out of 5. I'm gonna go ahead and cash out. But here's the trick: you can only cash out in the state that you bet in. So you can't, like, say if you place your bet in Virginia, you can't cash out in Maryland. You gotta cross the state line to cash out, though. Stupidest thing. But whatever. So yeah, that's why I was late, because I had to go ahead and cash out in VA, and then I had to drive all the way back to Maryland. So
I
yeah.
ain't mad at that. I ain't even bet, man, because I was like you. I was nervous to bet on these two games, man. Especially that Boston Milwaukee game, because I don't think any one of those teams have won two games in a row. So that's
Yeah,
why I was
that was a tricky one.
hesitant. Yeah, that's why I was hesitant to bet today on that. I was rooting for Boston, but I was hesitant to bet on that. And this Phoenix Suns, man, I just don't trust. I don't know. I just can't trust Phoenix. Like, look at them now. They down 18 right now.
See, I'm glad I cashed out, bro.
Go ahead. What about you, Chuck, man? What you got on today, man? What you
I actually have no bets on today. Well, I took the Mavs to go to the Western Conference Final.
Ooh, that's a good one.
okay?
I took that earlier on in the season once they made the Porzingis trade.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so I got that one still alive for me, and from the looks of it right now, it looks like it's still going to go good. So I'm happy for that. At 8-1 odds on Mavs getting into the conference final, Western Conference Final.
Good bet.
That's a great bet. What you put down, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I bet $1,000. I bet $1,000 a weekend.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
in there somewhere. I don't remember exactly what the bet was, but yeah, I bet $1,000. That's my play. I bet $1,000 a week.
All right. So this is a very special podcast episode on online betting and everything. We're gonna get into a lot of things as far as betting and the state of Maryland and how it sucks with a lot of this online betting and everything. We're gonna get into everything as far as boxing, basketball, everything. So right now we in the happy hour segment of the show, and let's talk about some of our first time betting experience that got us into the betting world, casinos, all that stuff, man. Let's talk about all of our experiences. I know we all will have the biggest, we took the biggest L experience, so maybe we had some good luck and beginner's luck. So I'll start with you, Chuck.
Okay, I see E smiling because I'm pretty sure we probably have similar stories here. But yeah, I got started in the gambling business when I was a very, very young kid. I had a cousin show me how to play dice when I was about 7 years old in his bedroom in VA. My family is from Falls Church, Virginia, so we would go out there to visit him. And then he pulled me into the room and was like, "What you know about this?" And I was like, "Nothing." And then he was just like, my very first bet I made when I was 9 at Rosecroft Raceway. I was picking horses for my father at the time. And we picked the exacta. Well, I picked the exacta, which is the first two horses to come across the finish line in order. I hit exacta straight for $19. It was a very bad odds on the horse. I think it was like the two favorites or something like that. And that was my first introduction into betting. And I was like, hell yeah, I won $19. Let's do this again. And yeah, oh man, this was a crazy one. It was definitely back in the horse racing again. My biggest error was Shackleford, 2011 in the Kentucky Derby.
I remember that horse too. Yeah.
The horse was 25-1 in the Kentucky Derby. I had just came home from my first semester of law school in Louisiana. So I just came home and the semester just ended, probably like about a week before. So I just got home, and then I heard that he was 25-1, and a groom at the track had gave me a tip on that horse a couple months before, saying if he gets some good odds to take him. So I was like, all right, well, I had $5,000 in my pocket. So I put the whole $5,000 on Shackleford at 25-1 odds. And so when we watched the race, I still have the video to this day of me going absolute nuts watching this race at Laurel Racetrack in Maryland. The horse led the whole way. He was killing them. I'm like, yes, yes. So towards the last stretch, he couldn't. He looked like he was slowing down. Other one speed up. He ended up led the whole race, finished the race in 4th place.
Damn.
So I lost the $5,000, and I was hurt for a whole summer long. I could not move at all. That was it. That was all I had. I took everything I had and put it on that horse right there. So that was probably my biggest L, my biggest heartbreak. And then 2 weeks later, they got the Preakness Stakes out in Baltimore, Maryland. And Shackleford was in the Preakness Stakes. So I'm like, fuck no, I ain't fucking shot for a month.
Hey, did he win that drink?
Oh, he won. He
Yeah, he won the drink. Yeah.
He was gone. I put the whole Kentucky back. I was pissed. Oh man. But yeah, so that was my biggest L right there.
Shit. Big money. Hey, what about you, E?
My first bet ever was at the Preakness, matter of fact. And I remember I was like 6 or 7. And my favorite number to this day is 5. And I just picked horse number 5. I don't know what I picked. I just told my mother 5. Just get 5. And I ended up winning. She gave me $50, right? Yo, that was like my first hit of crack, son. Like, he's like, once you win that first little bet, you like, yo, all right, this is cool. Mind you, I'm like 6 or 7. So yeah, $50 to me, that was like 5,000, bro. Like, yo, oh man, I don't even know what I did with that 50, bro. Like, I just had a blast, bro. And then fast forward, my biggest L, I was with your man, God rest his soul, Pitt. We was in Atlantic City. And we played poker that night. We were just going from casino to casino playing poker. And I don't know, dog, this was bad beats crazy. Like pocket aces getting cracked. My flush is getting over flushed, dog. Full house getting blown. It was crazy, bro. And I ended up losing like $1,500 that night. And we went home the next day. I ran every toll. I didn't stop at no toll. I was so bad, nigga. Yo, I was eating, bro. Like I remember, dog. I remember being in front of the 40-40 club. That's when the 40-40 was open. I was in front of the 40-40 club with my last $500. Like, yo, let's just go in the club and just blow the rest of this 500. I don't even care no more.
Right.
But yeah, that was my worst. That was my worst biggest loss ever. Yeah, I was sick for a whole week. Yeah.
Yeah, I know the feeling. I got a good one. This was probably one of the. All right, we talk L's. I tell you one of the scariest moments of me and gambling. So there's a spot. I don't know what the name of it is now. There used to be a sports bar over on Allentown Road, right across from the Audis, where Allentown Road is in PG. I don't know the name. You guys might know it. It's still open. I just don't know what the name is. Some kind of lounge now. I just don't know what the name is. It's in that little parking lot. There's not much over there but that lounge.
I know what you're talking about. Right there when you make the right past the Wendy's. I can't even think of the name. I go there all the time. That's crazy. Infused, yeah. Infused.
So, in this story, it wasn't infused yet. It was something else that got sold to be infused.
It's like an Italian joint, like a pizza joint. I think.
Yeah, it was a pizza joint back in the day.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know what y'all talking about. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
After that, so we had a NFL Redskins Cowboys, and at the time, this was many moons ago. I was just taking bets. I was running my own little pocket gambling operation. You know what I'm saying? So I gave anybody I knew 3-1 odds that the Redskins was going to be Cowboys at the time. And the Cowboys ended up winning by they won by a little bit of amount. And we had a big party. Everybody was in there. It was like 500 people in there for the Redskins Cowboys. This was crazy. And I lost. And I had like maybe 3 people in there that I owed money at the time. And the max I took was 500. And I had at least 30 bets.
Ooh.
Wow.
So I ended up owing like about 12 or 13 grand to people. I didn't have money at all. So
you was ass betting, sir?
I didn't have money. I thought that I just was sure that
they were going to win.
And I didn't need to pay these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
man.
I'm with like 2 of my homies from New York. And I had got some of the money from, I borrowed some of the dough from one of them. And so I owed a lot of people that night. And it was probably it was a Monday night game. So
hey, was that the game when they I think was Mark Brunell playing, sir?
Nah, that wasn't that game.
Nah, that bomb.
They won that game. The Redskins won that game on that bomb.
Yeah,
That's when I realized Roy Williams could not cover.
This bomb. Bombed. But nah, so keep the story going. This is right around the time that Delaware had just started to do the parlay cards for their sports book. So Delaware has a sports book, and I'm like, yo, it's like 11:30 at night right now. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I do not have the money to pay none of these niggas. So
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing. So I grabbed my one home and I was like, yo, you got $20? And he was like, yeah, I had like, I think $600 or $700 in my pocket. I was like, yo, just give me $20. So he just gave me $20. I put the 20 in the tank. We drive to Delaware. Go to the Dover Downs Casino.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I put the 500 that I had in my pocket. Put that on the roulette table. 500. We won back, got 1,000. Took 1,000. Go straight to the crap table. Crap tables. Pack. It's like the only table in there that's got people at it. I'm like, oh, it's like, so he's tired. He goes, I'm gonna go sleep in the car. I was like, yeah, all right. You know what I'm saying? Laid 1,000 on the crap table. Probably about 3.5 hours later, I had $9,500. Take $9,500, go to the car, like, yo, let's ready, let's roll. Go back home, got $9,500. I'm starting to pay people out. Very next day, put $100 on my birthday for the lotto, 315. Hit that joint. Boom, straight.
Oh,
Wow.
More money than I know what to do with. And I pay out everybody. And then word gets around that, yo, if you want to make a wager on a football bet, y'all need to, you know what I'm saying? He's got to go. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting up there like, nigga, I ain't hit on this crap table. Y'all niggas might not have seen Chuck no more after that.
Right.
Yeah, man. God was on your side that night.
Amen.
Man.
Hey, Louis, I'm glad you lived to tell a story, brother.
Yeah, man.
That was
I ain't got
serious ones right there.
that's one of the man, that's an interesting story. I don't have no interesting stories like that, man.
Yeah.
I can't top that.
Me either.
That was it.
You want me to go, James, or you want to go?
I mean, it don't matter. I can go. How I got into the betting game, man, was betting on myself. You know what I'm saying? When we was like, he could tell you, like, when we used to shoot for dollars.
Yep.
So we in the gym, we would shoot for money.
Yeah.
And that's how I kind of got into it. Shoot for dollars, shoot for fives, and it carried on. We did it at college, we did it outside of college, you know what I'm saying? That's how I got into it. And then, when you go on the trips to Vegas and everything like that, you would, play stuff. And I like the roulette table too, man. And so I won a little bit there. My biggest win, I'm cheap. I ain't listen. If I lose $25, I'm out of there. I'm gone. I was like, you know what I'm saying? When we went to Vegas, you know what I'm saying? Like, I used to love to gamble in the daytime because the tables are cheaper than they are at night. So, but my biggest win actually happened this year. I put $10 down on a parlay, like a 7-game parlay, and won $500 or something like that.
It's a good hit.
Yeah. Hey,
$500 on a parlay. Worst loss was the same thing. It was like $10 or $15, $20 on an 8-game parlay, and the Chicago Bulls was playing the New York Knicks. I hit every, and the biggest game was the Celtics was playing Toronto, and everybody on the Celtics had COVID. No, all their stars. It was, and somebody else was hurt. I think Jaylen Brown was hurt. I think Tatum was in COVID protocol. Marcus Smart, I think, was hurt on COVID protocol.
Bubble season?
Huh?
This was the bubble season or after?
No, this just happened. This
season.
Okay.
Yeah. And all of them were hurt. So me and my man, we bet, but he was like, listen, man, we just gonna do it this way. We're gonna take the I think we took the points with Boston. And then we was like, Chicago should definitely beat New York. They should beat the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? Knicks stink and everything like that. Chicago at the time, I think was what, top 3, top 4 in the East at the time?
Yep.
$800 on a $10, $15 bet. And that was the only game I lost.
Hey, I got a similar story, bro. I had the same thing happened to me. Yeah, I had a $10 on a 700 drink parlay, and it came down to fucking Drew Holiday in the Bucks against Miami. He hit the game. Yo, it looked like they just, no, it looked like just part of the Red Sea, just let him have the lane, bro, for a wide open layup. Yeah. And I ended up losing that joint by 1 point, and that was the only game I lost, bro. Yeah, that was sick. Yeah.
And the other story I got is I was in Vegas. I was at the roulette table, put my money on black, put my money on red. The dealer was like, yo, you should have put your 100. I put $100 down. He should put your 100 on red. And I put it on black before he said it. He said it after I hit, because he can't tell you what to do. So it hit. And it hit. And he said, yeah, you should have put it. After I put it on black, you should have put it on red. It hit. I lost, I'm blown. So I'm sitting there. This guy comes up, drunk out of his mind. No chips, nothing. He walked right up to the table, give me 100 on black. It hit. Give me 100 on black. It hit. He did this, the switching between black and red at least 10 times and hit every time. I'm sitting there sick. I mean, hit every time. And then after he hit, the last time he hit, they switched out the dealers and he rolled out. I'm just
that's what you gotta get up and roll after that.
Right, but I'm just sitting here watching them, and I'm just like, I just lost my money. You just came over here, and just like it was just like he was just like, man, whatever. Just he didn't like no rhyme or reason, no method. He just I'm just doing this because he was drunk. He just had money.
Yeah, it's the best time to play.
On yourself doing joke.
Right. I'll be real quick, and then we get into the first round. I'm a late bloomer, so I'm probably I ain't that much experience as better like y'all, man. But
Kenny, I just want to point out the Mavericks are up by 30.
Whoa.
Yeah, and it was the second half. It was second quarter with 2:25 left. And I think if I looked over at the TV and Phoenix only had 25 points.
I really thought the Suns was gonna blow them out today.
Glad I cashed out, son. Whew.
Yeah, glad. Hey, it was worth it.
Yes, that trip was worth it.
They do this all the time.
Damn.
Yeah, man. Golly.
Luka,
Wow.
That's what scared me, dog. Luka scared me, bro. And I was like, yo, they've been balling against. They've been frustrating CP3, man.
It's gonna be this.
Kenny, real quick, and I know I don't want to get too far off topic. Real quick, what does this do to Chris Paul legacy if they lose?
What legacy?
That's another story. We talk a lot about that.
Gets to the finals all the time.
I mean,
Steve Nash.
Yeah.
All right, Kenny, good story, man. I don't want to get too far off top.
I mean, I had beginner's luck. I started. My first time going to casino, I was in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
And it was I think I was at I think I stayed at the Conrad Hotel, and they got like a little.
What'd you say, Chuck?
How was the actual casino? Was it like a normal casino?
Yeah, it was a normal casino. They got the tables, the slots, everything. And I just happened. I know how to play blackjack, so I just went on blackjack. And I put $25 down. I left the table with like $200-something. Just first time playing and all that shit. I was 18. I wasn't 18. I was 21. My sister was 18. But in Puerto Rico, you can gamble. So we both had beginner's luck. So she was gambling.
So you know what you was doing?
I didn't know what I was doing. I was learning on the fly. Like even like if you get two aces, you can split it. Like I'm learning like that. You know what I'm saying? All that. So I had the little beginner's luck there. And then now I'm just being real quick with my stories. Probably like it wasn't a big loss. I put 150 on Tarver versus Jones 2, the rematch. Never would have thought that Roy Jones would get knocked the fuck out. Like I was in school, my man, Chuck, at the Hawks man and everybody, you can get the fight through the cable. I think was different there than what it was on campus and some shit like that. We was able to get the fight, and we had a big ass fight party over there. My man got knocked out in the second fucking round. And I was hurt. I was hurt. So,
damn.
My other joint. Speaking of what Chuck said, man, Cowboy Redskins. My mother, it had to be either 95 or 96 because this when NBA Live like kind of took off. Like it just like this one NBA Live 95, 96 was like dope. And during that time, like the 90s, Cowboys was, what I'm saying, that's my team, and they was You know what I'm saying? They got 3 Super Bowls in the '90s, so you already know. Like, so my mother said, the Cowboys beat the Redskins. I'll buy you any pair of tennis shoes you want. And all of us from PG County, whatever have you, you already know how we feel about tennis shoes. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, that's an easy win. I'm already like thinking about what Jones I'm gonna get. I'm like trying to figure out what I'm gonna get, this, that, and the third. I'd be damn if them damn Cowboys let me down. I was crushed. I was mad for about a week. I think I shed a tear over that, man. God. That was one of the most hurtful losses because it was like we should win. Like it was easy.
Nah, I took a bad one this year, bro. When I did the combined score, the over under for that Cowboys Dallas game, and that shit got crushed in like the first quarter or whatever. Dallas was blown out. Oh, that joint was bad.
What's the one? It was a Rams game. What's the Rams running back that's not there no more?
Oh, Akers.
What year?
The big nigga with dreads.
Oh,
I know what you're talking about.
Was it Gurley?
Todd Gurley.
Todd Gurley, yeah.
It was one game, I can't remember. I want to say it was Rams-Vikings, but I'm not quite sure if it was Vikings or not. But everybody had the Rams plus the spread on that game. And Gurley runs off, breakaway, go-ahead TD to get the spread, and this nigga downs the ball on the 1 yard.
1 yard line.
I remember that.
Post-game interview, and they're like, what was that? And he was like, screw the gamblers. We want
wow.
Yeah. Man, that's tough.
Screw the gamblers, the fantasy football owners, all that shit.
My man lost a game this year like that. I think it was 1,000. I think it was 1,000 for 10,000. It was a parlay. It was Tom Brady had to throw over like 200 something yards. I think they were playing Philly. Tom Brady had to throw over like 250 yards, 250 yards. He did it. Antonio Brown had to get over like, I think it was Antonio Brown had to get over like 80 yards, something like he did it. I think what's the running back, ballhead dude, their running back for the Buccaneers, Tampa Bay.
Come on, Fournette.
Yeah, Fournette had to get like 80 in a touchdown. He did it, and it was like, I think and the other wide receiver, I can't think of his name right now. Mike, what is it, Mike? What's the tall wide receiver? What's that tall wide receiver? Tampa Bay.
Come on, Mike Evans.
Mike Evans had to have like 65 yards. I think he had 23 yards. My man lost $1,000. He put up 1,000. And he was gonna get 10,000, and he didn't cover.
That's still like see shit like that is a dumb bet.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot though.
$1,000 to win 10,000 is not really a good bet on a prop parlay.
Yeah, that's a lot, especially for that kind of prop. Yeah, that's a lot, bro. It's a lot gonna happen with that.
10 to 1. That's essentially 10 to 1 odds.
Yeah.
We could tell a million of them stories, man. Like I was on and we'll go to the first. I was on a flight from Vegas, and my man had the Patriots quarterback, and that was that game that the Patriots ran the ball every single play.
I remember. That was that same weekend we went to Vegas.
Yeah.
I was in Vegas, dog. I watched that game at the Caesars, bro. Like that joint was crazy. Yeah, they never ran the ball off, and I won money off that game. So I had the patch. Yeah.
The entire game. But
nigga do 2
let's
passes.
Let's get into it. Kenny, go and kick it off.
All right, let's get into the first round. Since my man Chuck is here, and we're gonna talk about the process, just dealing with the pain of having to go all the way to Virginia to just place a bet and also cash out and all this stuff.
Yeah, Virginia OGC.
Yeah, so let's discuss the process of what was the process of getting sports betting here in the DMV area? What was that process about? What was, how long it was, the pain, suffering, and all the lobbying and things like that had to go down for this actually to happen?
Yeah, man. I'm glad you asked me that because I was in the midst of all of that. So what happened is before everything got going, this was before sports betting was even legalized. So it's still banned right now. At this point, it's still banned cross country. Because of federal rule PASPA, which is what they call it, professionals sports act. And at the time, we were wagering. We were wondering if we were going to pass it because we just had Trump got elected, and we all knew that he was going to bring in, new people because they needed a new Supreme Court justice, which I think was
Kavanaugh?
Gorsuch.
Okay.
So he put Gorsuch in there, and then he appointed his man Sessions to be in there, and so everyone, Harry Reid came through. I'm going to UNLV at the time, so Harry Reid comes through the class, and I'm talking to him afterwards, and I'm telling him, I'm like, look, man, we're gonna have to get the sports betting thing going on because if this thing goes, we got enough people to sway the vote now because everybody was thinking it was going to be a 5-4 vote for no on the passport. But once Gorsuch got in there and then Jeff Sessions got in there, I think his name is Jeff Sessions. Once they got in there, so we thought we swung it. So we think like now we should do 6-3 for passport now. And then that's going to open up, all the statewide so the states could decide whether they want sports betting or not. So at this time, the main problem was for the longest time, Vegas was the only place that really had the sports betting game on Smash, and they only had people that knew how to do it because this was the only place that was really doing it like that. Aside from the parlay cards in Delaware, they had some kind of deal going on in, I believe it was either Montana. Montana had some kind of sports betting thing going on. I'm still not quite sure what actually was happening, but they didn't have anybody to run it. That was the real problem. They didn't have anybody that knew what they were doing. They didn't have no gaming commissions were set up. They didn't have none of that. And so now what you're starting to see is a lot of people in these states, they're running their sports betting through the lottery. The lottery offices are running the sports betting. And then from that lottery office comes the gaming commission now. That's what happened with DC. So we have all these big symposiums, all these big lectures with all of these people that are supposed to be in sports betting. None of them knew how to make a damn sports bet to save their life. None of them knew any kind of regulation, none of it. They didn't know. They were the biggest idiots making $150,000, $200,000 a year to do absolutely nothing. And I sat right next to these people and I could hear them talk in these lectures. And I'm sitting up here, they really pay y'all? Like, this is crazy. So I'm talking my talk, and then the guy next to me was like, hey, man, what do you think of us getting sports betting in our state? And this is Massachusetts. This is a real story. So I'm like, yeah, I think y'all can do it. I mean, but who's going to run it? And he was like, you want to move to Massachusetts? And I was like, no. At the time, I'm still a gaming LLM student at the time. I just so happened to work for the Center of Gaming Regulation. I was an unpaid intern just working there to finish my credits for the program so I could graduate.
Right.
So the boss comes in and says, hey, this is the next day. Boss comes in and says, hey, what if we just let some of these states see what we do? And I'm sitting up here like, I don't think that's going to work because one, they're not us. They don't have the people that we got, they don't have the oversight like we do. And they still don't. So I was like, all right, whatever, I'll put something together. So she was like, yeah, put something together and send it to me so I can send it up. I'm like, okay. So I pretty much put a draft together of all the things that we did in Las Vegas. And I sent it to her. She sent it to the people that were on the gaming commission at the time. I put in these quotations because these people didn't know jack shit about gaming. Nothing. Trust me.
And the funny thing about it, I believe you, bro. I believe it.
They're still backwards there. Trust me. These guys are they don't have a pure freaking clue to what's really going on over there. But it was a race because once the passport got repealed, that pretty much just pulled the lids off of the jar. And then, it was still slow because we were sitting in lectures pinpointing who was going to pass legislation first. We had it narrowed down to about 11 states. And what happened after that? COVID. COVID happened. And then nobody could do nothing. You had about maybe 4 or 5 states that had passed it. So basically some places were more set up to go faster than other areas. So like Louisiana was set to roll, you know what I'm saying?
So Chuck, what was those 4 states that passed it?
Mississippi was among the first. I do know that Mississippi was among the first, but there's a lot of when you got states that close with people that already have casinos that's ready to go, you got a lot of internal competition, and in that internal competition comes tax fees, and tax write-offs, and tax breaks, and all kinds of other things. So Mississippi was really one of the four the guys that got going first before everybody else. And then it was just a race, really. DC wanted to get something going. They didn't have a clue. Your boy, Jack Evans, it was his bill. And they were trying to do sports betting. Jack was trying to get sports betting in DC before it got to Maryland.
Wow.
So, Jack had his own problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So he pushed the gaming bill forward, but it was totally backwards. From everything that I had sent Maryland, it was the exact opposite of what they wanted, what we were suggesting that they do,
My thing is, if Vegas already doing it, why not just follow your blueprint? Why reinvent the wheel?
Because there's politics involved, and people want to be innovators all of a sudden. So that's how it goes. So they did their own version of the bill, which is why you just now getting three actual sports books in DC now?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is why you're getting three now. The way I had it written was you open all of them at once.
Yeah, makes sense.
Once you give the people the chance to choose which one they want to go to, then you get more people hired. There's more bets flowing through the city. Then you got more revenue. What happens now is what they did at first, where they only had the what's the arena?
Come on, MGM.
Right. No. What's the
Capital One.
Capital One.
At the time, that was the only place you could go.
Yeah.
And they were horribly understaffed. You had guys waiting outside 3-4 hours.
Wow.
You had betting windows. They weren't even fully staffed. They didn't even have all the betting windows open. 4 windows open with a line wrapped around the building. You would think it was like a concert outside. Niggas trying to get up. And then that was the bad part. They also divided the tax part of it on the back end, the way I had it up the front. Everything I had was on the front of it.
So what does that do, the tax on the back end versus tax on the front?
Well, if you had opened it the way I had you open, you would have had a lot more revenue, which would have had a lot more money to tax.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. When you backload it, what I'm saying, you basically trying to bring it in gradually. Is what they do. And I get it. DC is a conservative town, so to speak. And so they try to go with a gradual push towards opening more gaming and more gaming. So now I think there's one at Nationals Park Stadium now. I heard.
I didn't even know they had one.
I didn't even know they had one either.
Somewhere around it. I think BetMGM is operating it now. They weren't even on the table when we started this whole thing.
Which got me which I found out that the BetMGM online is not run by the MGM like from Maryland. So like Maryland, the casino in Maryland, you can't do certain bets because apparently the New Jersey Gaming Commission runs the BetMGM online for DC or Virginia, one of them. It's weird.
But I mean, it's the same Caesars bet. It's the same with the Caesars at Capital One. Y'all not those lines that you're getting. Those aren't DC lines. Those lines are being fed to y'all from here. Vegas.
Wow.
Yeah, right.
So Chuck, like talking about Maryland, man, you posted something on I think Facebook or the gram. I think it was probably Facebook, and I wanted to touch on Maryland, man. Like since James, I and he live in Maryland. You posted. I'm gonna read what you post. In the state of Maryland, casinos allocated a certain percentage of funding to schools across the state. In April, Maryland Sportsbook handled $26.9 million, and the state received $415K out of that. Should we ask our state reps, and I'm just paraphrasing the question that came to mind when I read that, should we ask our state reps in the next election why some of this money isn't going to our schools as well?
And before you answer that, Phoenix down 40.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. What you say?
Wow.
Phoenix is down 40.
Wow, they're down 40.
Yikes.
Man,
Down 40.
this is getting ugly.
Man, who bet on this game?
Glad I didn't. I didn't, brother.
So
Wow,
go ahead, Chuck.
65. They have 29 points in the third quarter.
Damn.
Okay, go ahead, man.
They only have 2 points. They had 27 at the half.
Yeah, it's 27 and a half. They scored 2 points in this quarter.
Yo, and they at home.
Yeah. Choke artist, man. I told you. But anyway, yeah, definitely. This is part of the problem and also part of the solution. When I drafted that Maryland legislation thing that we was talking about a few moments ago, the biggest obstacle I had from the people that I was telling about it and the push to get it passed and during the voting process was schools. The money's not gonna go to schools. School is school at blah blah blah. Now, being from that area, I can tell you, before the gambling, schools weren't that damn great in the first place.
Right.
Straight honest with you, we were amongst the worst long before an MGM ever opened.
Yes.
Yeah, we were dead. I think us in South Florida, we were like number 1 and 2 in the nation at the time for worst school districts.
So the nation's capital.
Right, but see, this is the part of that I don't think people understand. The money doesn't actually go. The direct dough does not go to the actual school. That goes to an education fund.
Okay. Break this down for my listeners. Go ahead, Chuck.
For all y'all that saying, "Oh, the money needs to go to the schools. How come this school is stole?" Blah blah blah. All the money is pooled together into what's called an educational fund. It's like one big bowl of dough. Now, where that money goes from the fund is up to your local legislators, the people that you guys are voting in and out of office. Now, this is Maryland we're talking about. There's all kinds of fund misappropriation going on in the great state of Maryland, as we all know. But that was just for that month. So that's that tax rate that I was talking about earlier. So they got what was it again? What was the number?
What's the number, Kenny?
The number was as far as how much the state received.
407.17, something like that.
415K.
Out of how much? 26.9 million.
26.9 million.
So $400,000.
Not even 10%.
Well, the Vegas tax rate on casinos is 6.7% here. So think about that the next time you see about a casino opening. Well, actually, how much they're gonna tax them. But yeah, but that's $400,000 in just 1 month. And we've had
1 month.
You've had February. You've had February, which contains the Super Bowl, which is the biggest sports betting day of.
Hey, we all was amongst us for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, only $3 billion was wagered on the Super Bowl. Now,
wow.
When did Maryland get sports bet?
Right before the Super Bowl.
Were they up and running? Was everybody up and running right before the Super Bowl?
No, because what's the name wasn't. FanDuel wasn't. It was only MGM.
The MGM, I think, right?
It was only MGM. Yeah. Yep. FanDuel didn't start till like maybe probably about a month or two ago.
And FanDuel's at live now, right?
Yep, at live. Yep, correct.
Yeah.
So you didn't even have.
You couldn't even get in the game.
And this is what and this is the idiots running this situation. This is what I just talked about. These guys.
Yeah. And it's funny.
Oh.
And it's funny because FanDuel had they were ready to go. They were just waiting. Like FanDuel had a mean ass sportsbook at live, bro. The joint's nice as hell. That joint, they had that joint built since like July. Matter of fact, since June, maybe even May.
I just think that this becoming a new world, man. Like we got
running it. It was built.
Yeah.
They had to be director of it.
Yeah. Nah, they didn't even have it. They weren't even running it yet because they had everything built up though.
They were waiting for it to get going.
Yep.
Yeah, they were waiting. They had a lot, but this is what I'm saying. You got the biggest sports betting day in the world. Why aren't you open?
Yeah, facts.
You're
Right.
gonna March for March Madness.
They don't know. They don't know at that point.
I mean, you can
No,
do a Google search. What's the biggest sports betting day in the world? It is fucking Super Bowl.
yeah.
There's no reason why they shouldn't have never been up and running. But this is the problem that I had with Maryland. They just weren't ready. They dropped the ball. This is why the schools aren't getting what they need to be getting, because one, the people aren't open when they need to be open. So what you're actually getting is only a fraction of what you should have been getting in the first place. But that's from the slow legislators and the slow people at the gaming commissions and everybody that's lobbying against it to stop it and slow it down. And the governor had to even get involved and say, like, yo, let's get going. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, Hogan, he had to he kind of pushed the bill to go forward. Like you need to get it going, bro.
Because Hogan knew that if you keep going slow on this, what's going to happen? Virginia's going to come with better.
Yeah. Virginia gonna come, DC gonna come, and then we in the background.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, we're not gonna be able to keep up.
Right. Because and then Maryland was already losing enough money to these other states already, because people were driving into DC just like you had to do, driving to VA to go play and go drive back out there to cash the bet. That's all goes to Virginia revenue.
Yeah, I mean, and then I was frustrated like last weekend, bro. I missed out on $1,200, bro, because I was too lazy to go. It was Saturday because I couldn't go bet on the Canelo fight. I was putting money on the other dude to win, but
Virginia winning, man. I think Virginia winning out of both states. I think they're gonna be the Virginia Commanders too.
So that's
I'm just saying.
But yeah, that's how it's going. And that's really what the deal is. And these people have to understand that this money comes into an educational fund, and that gets dispersed into outlets. Chop the pot.
You heard it from Chuck first. Like the way they sold it to us was they just said schools. They didn't say nothing about no fun. That's how they sold it, and that's why a lot of people voted because they like gambling. A lot of people voted because they say, okay, it's gonna help the schools. But my biggest problem is which schools we talking about in the state of Maryland. Maryland's pretty fucking big.
And Chuck, you said something offline. You said it, yo, and I didn't think about this, but schools means colleges too.
You know what I mean? University. So University of Maryland got something. All
politicians are real slick with their words.
They're not slick with their words. They just tell you what they tell you. They tell you what it's going to be, but you take what you hear.
Yeah.
You take from your word. You take what you want from it. They said we're going to get back to the schools, which they did.
It's not like they didn't do it.
They did it. They just didn't do it the way you thought it was going to be done because you heard what you thought you heard.
And this also goes into a statewide fund.
Yeah.
Now, it's kind of messed up because all of the money is really coming from the MGM.
Mm-hmm. Which is in Prince George's County.
Yeah, which is in Prince George's County, which is predominantly African-American.
Yeah.
And what most people don't know is that's the highest grossing casino on the East Coast.
Wow.
Yeah, it is. I heard that stat too.
96% sold out since the day it opened. Month on, month in.
Nah, it's cranking every night, bro.
And then the money is going not to PG County. Money is going Hartford County, Western Maryland,
Frederick.
that are not bringing in the money are really benefiting more than what you can see going on in PG County. But yeah, they put, it's kind of like, why would they do this to us? You go to Live. How much are the table minimums at Live?
I mean, it started like $10.
$10, $10, $15, depending on what you gambling at.
And the MGM, $50.
It's in a white county, right? Yeah. Predominantly, a lot of white people go there. It's right by the
Anne Arundel.
Anne Arundel County, which is a predominantly white county. Now, $10 to $15 at the white people county, huh?
Yep.
They drive down to the Maryland MGM and the National Hall. How much are the table minimums there?
50 to 75.
All the black guys are coming in droves and buses and ships and planes and 15 passenger vans.
Right.
Sell it out. No problem. $50, $75, $100 sometimes. Table minimums.
And I just ride right up the line when I want to play.
So So I know we talking about this, and we talking about the casinos, but a lot of us is getting into this online betting thing, right? So like when E was talking about he had to drive to Virginia because they got a GPS on that you, so when you try to place a bet, it won't allow you to because the GPS knows that you're in Maryland, so you can't place a bet. So when do you think, or how long do you think it's going to take for Maryland to get on board with the online betting and the gaming system, man? Like what's slowing that process up? What is it going to take to get us there, and how long do you think it's going to take to get us there?
And I'm announcing this. We are in the second round, so get your drinks up before you answer that question.
Yeah, need to go take a drink.
But it's the key word, man. Internal strife. The problem is, you're going to take a lot of money from your brick and mortar spots if you open online in Maryland.
Yeah.
And online bets can do stuff that, are not necessarily available at brick and mortar sports books. And now you got FanDuel running an actual sports book. So to have FanDuel online while they're running an actual sports book too is kind of like, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna bump your own head. You're gonna lose your people.
Now you're fighting against yourself.
You're gonna
Go ahead. What was the last part you said, Chuck?
Now, so you're gonna gain more people because more people have a cell phone.
Yeah.
It's far more people with a cell phone than a car.
Yeah, and convenience.
Going to live.
It's convenience. You got people online. People work full time online now. People don't go to work physically. So like, why not make it convenient? You know what I'm saying? Across the board, people are going to participate. I mean, if that's
slowing your money down, that's the problem. You're going to slow the casino revenue down. So they got to figure out a way to have both coexist.
Yeah.
Like here, we got both here in Las Vegas, but everything is super geo fenced in. So like you had to go all the way to VA to cash out, right?
Yeah.
You can cash out directly on your phone, right?
Yep.
We have cash out centers here in Las Vegas.
Wow.
Ain't no out on your phone here. You know what I'm saying? We got cash out centers. So like you got to go to a 7-Eleven to load the money onto your account to bet and then go to a cash out center to take it off.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
See, that was one of my things with betting online because I hate going to the casino and I got to go get cash. Then if I win, I got to get large sums of money. I get cash carried out. It's the risk factor that I don't like, bro.
I'll tell you another thing that's going to have to do. What Maryland's going to have to do, and I said this as soon as they repeal passport. You guys are going to have to give out free liquor.
Yes.
If you want people to come and you want people to come inside the casino and you got mobile betting, the only way you're going to have both coexisting is you got to offer something that somebody else doesn't. The only thing you're going to do to be able to get people in there is like, man, I can bet on my phone and watch the game in my house. But if I go to live, I can get free drinks all night.
Yeah. That's a good selling tip right there. Yeah.
Casinos right there. They have 0 sense of hospitality.
No, that's a fact, bro.
No,
that's a fact. That's when Maryland MGM first opened, I was so mad because I've been to we've been to the real MGM. I call it the real MGM in Vegas. And all the other spots in Vegas, like you get free drinks. That's part of the law of going to the casino, bro. You get free drinks.
It's part of the
ambiance, yeah. But yeah, so that was one of my biggest takeaways that I was blown about when we got a casino here.
Yeah, they gave you everything. I mean, they already charge you $75 a roll or $100 a roll at the place. They can't give you a $10 drink.
You get a Bud Light there.
They'll say this: we giving y'all free parking.
You can't buy chips. You can't even get people chips for the drinks.
Yeah, man. That's crazy.
So, it's gonna take a while, but eventually I think they'll get tired of losing online money after a while. I think they need to see the numbers from a lot of these other states before. Maryland was a little slow on getting everything, man. They had this bill in 2017 because that's when I wrote it.
The demographics is changing too because our generation and beyond, we do everything online. We only we go grocery shopping online, DoorDash. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna have to at some point.
So do you think
lose money?
So do you think it'll take if you think if on a when you think about it, do you think it's going to take? I'm trying to think how long you think it'll take? Like years? Like is it years, months, 10 years down the line? What are you thinking? In a perfect world, when do you think they'll start the online game? And then reality, when you think they're going to start the online betting?
I think you're about right now. I think you're about a year and a half, 2 years out. Because what happens is New York just got it.
Okay.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Yeah. So now New Jersey's handle is going to go down a little now. So now everything on New Jersey numbers. Because Jersey was killing it. When they first had them, when they first got going, Jersey was killing it.
Yes, they
People
were.
from New York was going to Jersey.
Everybody was going.
Everything. They had everything too.
In the 20s, everybody was going back to Jersey now. It was a thing. So now New York's got online wagering now. So now Jersey's handle is going to take a hit, and then it's going to trickle down, and people are going to say, all right, well, they lost. Look at what we're doing. Now they're going to look at Virginia numbers and say, we get sports betting, we can take all of the money from them. Because what we still have, what Virginia doesn't, we still have casinos. They don't have them yet. They're getting them.
They about to get some. Yeah.
They're getting them.
Yeah.
That's going to take another couple of years, but they're getting them.
That's one thing. When I invite you back, I want to talk about when did Jersey go wrong? Because, in the 90s, they had everything, man. They had to fight. It was back and forth between the fights here in Atlantic City or the fights here in Vegas. They was neck and neck for years. Even in
early 2000s, yeah. Like I was going to Vegas. I mean, and I see some good fights. Yeah.
Yeah. I went to see Jermaine Taylor get knocked out by Kelly Pavlik back in the early 2000s.
And then I was there. Hey, look, I saw Bernard Hopkins whoop Kelly Pavlik.
Yeah, man.
Martin performed live at the Atlantic City.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the topic, I can definitely answer that.
All right, cool. We're gonna move into this third round. We definitely had some good conversations. Definitely left some questions on the table, but we're gonna invite you back plenty of times, man, to discuss some other things too as well. In this last round, this third round, we just got a couple of questions. We had a good sports weekend. Well, even with what's going on now with Phoenix, I didn't know that Phoenix. I think Vegas is involved with that game, but let me shut my mouth before something happened to me. But it don't make no sense. 29 points in the third quarter. Come on, man. Like you got
it's about Las Vegas.
Huh?
It's involved in sports gambling, yet when the team is down 40, Vegas is involved now.
Right, yeah,
I'm just saying 29 points. Devin Booker scored 71 points in the game before. Like, come on, man.
They're down 41 points.
Why not them?
Yeah, I hate when people say that too. They're like, man, Vegas put the call in. Vegas ain't putting no call in. They just lost. They like,
Fun fact.
Oh man, I don't know what I'm talking about, man.
Go ahead, Chuck.
Fun fact. How much money do you think, before all this passport stuff happened and COVID and all that, how much money do you think a sports book actually generates a year? Prior to COVID.
You said before COVID?
Before COVID.
I'm saying like in the hundreds of millions of dollars, man. Close to $1 billion, probably.
I would say maybe at least 200-300 million.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to about 100 million.
Yo, way off. So the highest before COVID, before passport got repealed, the highest sports book in town, which was Las Vegas, the most the handle ever did was $430 million.
Damn.
Highest ever.
Wow.
You know how much money, a percentage-wise breakdown of the revenue of the resort. You know how much accounts from a sports book?
How much?
Less than 3%.
Damn.
400-something million. Less than 3% of the actual revenue of the resort came from the sports book. So the next time Vegas is involved, just remember that.
That's the type of information I need because I'm just following trends here with that.
No, hey, look, shout out to my man Big A. Big A swear that Vegas be making calls. I'm like, no, I don't think it works like that. But bro.
Shout out to A, man.
3%.
3%. That's nothing.
Nah,
that's a fun fact. No, that's nothing. That's
he
nothing
said less
at all.
But he said less than 3%. So They don't even account. So 97% of the revenue is still out there.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I'm a businessman, so that's like, if it costs me, if I'm billing the government $1,500 to remove some cables, and I gotta pay my damn electricity, like his price point, I gotta pay him $1,200 out of that $1,500. I ain't making no fucking money. You know what I'm saying? So I get what you're saying. That's very little to none.
Smoke and mirrors. It's all about what you think is happening versus what's actually happening.
Yeah, man. So that's definitely a good fun fact. Kentucky Derby. You was at the Kentucky Derby. We had a good last 2 weeks. You was at the Kentucky Derby. I want to talk about that upset, man. Like, you know, we had the winner was Rich Strike. I think the
odds was 25-1. The odds was 25-1 on him.
Nah, 80. It was 83 to
80
82.
80 to 1 or something like that, right?
Yeah, something like that.
I meant to say 80 to 1.
Yeah, I just want to finish off with your experience with that whole process and what we looking forward to when it comes up to the Preakness. Everybody, like, what we doing? What we doing? We gonna put some money down on what's the guy name? What's the
Red Strike or something?
Epic
Epicenter?
Yeah, Epicenter. We gonna put some money on Epicenter coming up for the Preakness and things like that.
He was the favorite, right?
Yeah, he was the favorite at Kentucky. Yeah,
one of them now. Let's take it from the top. Let's start with where it all begins. I don't know how much we know about horse racing here, but so what actually happened was the trainer of Rich Strike, well, not Rich Strike, the trainer of, I think it was horse 19. I don't remember the horse's name, but the trainer was Dwayne Lucas, who the day before on at the Kentucky Oaks, he won the race with Secret Oath. Now, Secret Oath was going to be running in the Preakness. He ran in the day before with the Phillies in the Kentucky Oaks. She also ran in the Arkansas Derby, which I believe was not a race for her. She probably should have never ran that race, but they were testing her out in the Arkansas Derby, which is one of the final prep races for the Kentucky Derby. Usually whoever wins Arkansas goes right to the Kentucky Derby, but she lost, so they entered her into the Kentucky Oaks. They run her against a little bit less competition, so to speak. So what happened was the guy, Dwayne Lucas, was training his horse, and I was there. This is Friday. So we had the books and everything. It wasn't even in it. The horse, Rich Strike, for the next day, wasn't even there. Wasn't on the books.
He was a last minute, right?
Yeah, so what happened was the guy, they have a deadline to when all the horses have to be in and who's running, you know. So he said his horse wasn't working out to his liking. Wasn't working out well. All of a sudden, he pulls the horse. Rich Strike gets in the 30 minutes before the deadline.
Wow.
Yeah, I heard about this. Yeah, I heard about it.
Deadline goes. So I had already made my picks. I had already did my other podcast show, and I had already went live and told everybody what was going to happen. You know what I'm saying? And Rich Strike was not a part of the conversation just because he was not on the board.
Wow. So
we get to Saturday, and everybody's looking at the new programs that came out. And everybody's like, why the hell is there 22 horses? So they had 2 alternates.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And then they scratched the second alternate. So the first alternate was Rich Strike. So then Rich Strike moves into, the extra slot now. So now you actually have a full 20 horses. And then he just so happens to win from the slot at 81 to 1 odds, not because he probably was at 81 to 1. We just didn't have enough time and enough info to have some kind of, people bet on him. Nobody knew who the hell he was. Nobody knew that his last race he won by 12 lengths at the track.
Oh, wow.
You imagine his odds had the most of the crowd known that.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Started off at 90 to 1 odds.
Damn.
By the time the race came, he was 81 to 1.
Isn't that how gambling works though? Like if people had that information, people would have said he was an alternate, then he bumps. Now the odds are so far, 80 to 1. Like I see a lot of bettors want to take that bet just because for the sake of doing that. Just
that was one way, but then another thing was you just didn't know. I mean, at the time, a lot of people had already made the wagers going. That 81-1 got down to the end where people were scrambling, trying to find combinations and all that other shit, and that's how that horse got in there. I had it picked 12, 3, 10 was my trifecta for that one, and it came 21, 3, 10.
Wow.
Reversal of the numbers.
Wow.
But then the crazy part about it is, what happens right after that? Rich Strike gets scratched from the Preakness.
Yeah.
So there will be no Rich. Here's one more.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Rich Strike is he's scratched from the Preakness. No Preakness for him. Guess who just so happens to be entered into the Preakness now?
The horse that got scratched in the first drink?
None other than D. Wayne Lucas's other horse.
The one that lost in August, the August on Oak.
The one that won the Philly race in the Kentucky Oaks. She runs in the Preakness.
Yeah. So are you going to take that bet on her?
I haven't really looked at because you're supposed to get 6. I think we're gonna get about 5 or 6 newcomers.
Okay.
In that race. It's a shorter race. I think Epicenter will still like to take that, but I mean Epicenter against Secret Oath. Anytime, in this horse racing game, anytime you get a filly to run with, the boys.
Yeah.
The female horses like to run away from the men.
Cool. All right. I got a couple of quick hitters for you real quick too. Chuck, all right, so I know he was talking about the Preakness. Boxing. Usually when we bet, most people bet on I don't know too many people that bet on boxing. So, we had a good fight this past weekend with Charlo and what was his name? Castellano too.
Castellano,
and then you also had the week before that we had Canelo. And so how does that work when you betting on boxing? Because for me, I bet on I bet on basketball, bet on knockouts, bet on boxing. I mean, I'll bet on basketball, football, things that you kind of know. And I mean, I know boxing, but what's the bet? How does that look? What do you bet on when it comes to boxing?
Go ahead, E.
Oh, nah. I mean, you can. It's multiple bets you can bet on. You can bet on which round the knockout gonna have, or you can bet on if that person going to win in the first 1-3 rounds.
Right. Yeah. So
it's a lot of bets you can do.
Right, and that's what I'm saying, because I know those are the easy bets, right? The knockout, if it's gonna be a knockout, TKO, or decision, or you bet. So can you bet round by round? Like you could bet can you do that, or how does that? That's what I'm saying.
Hey, Chuck, I don't know. Can you do that? Can you bet if I'll bet that Canelo gonna win the first 3 rounds, but they don't have to be a knockout or nothing like that. They just win the first 3 rounds.
Multi-round, yes. Single, no. Well, I don't know what these mobile online joints are doing now in these random states where they just got sports betting. They trying to get everybody involved. So
it's the Wild Wild West.
Did he lace the gloves up right or some shit like that? But for the most part, it's usually that round bet usually goes 3 rounds at a time.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those will be the best odds of that fight. If you want to get some exotics, it really just comes down to how much you think you want to win.
Yeah.
And that's where you tailor your bet to. If you want to win $10,000 and you got 22-1 odds on him winning the middle 3 rounds, and that's the best odds of the game, you would tailor your bet to that 22-1 getting $10,000. So that's probably the bet you would take. Now, there might be one to win by decision. A unanimous might pay a little different than a KO. Then a TKO might pay a little different from a KO. And then, what if it's a draw? That might be one. What if you might get disqualified?
Yeah, because they got 3 ways. They got 2 ways.
Right.
But last week I wanted to put some money on Bovo. What's the name? Bovo, whatever. Yeah. But I wanted to put on the points to hear win by points, and it was paying like 7-1. And he won by points, and I couldn't make my bet because I couldn't get the VA.
Fucking Maryland, man. I'm sorry, I keep cussing, but damn Maryland, man. Like,
but you got to try some of those exotics. Else, I mean, the odds on you winning these fights, unless there's something crazy like a Canelo situation. But even that was only with I think the guy that won
was only 4. It was like 4-1. That was it. It wasn't nothing crazy.
Even that wasn't really a big surprise as far as like we'll never see no odds like Tyson Buster Douglas again.
yeah.
Although I almost pulled it off against Tank.
What was the odds?
That drink was stupid. It was like 1,700 though. It was stupid. For Cruz, yeah, it was plus 1,700 for Cruz.
Oh, the last fight, right?
Yeah.
That was close. That was close.
So
he was in Vegas too.
Yeah, no. The last week he squeaked out the decision in December.
Okay, that's not the uppercut.
Nah. That was Santa Cruz. Yeah, that wasn't him.
And one question, since we talking about boxing, and everybody wants to. We already know what the fight that everybody wants to see. T-Bud versus Earl Spence. So, what's your thoughts on that? What would you take if that was a bet? Like, who number one? Who would you take? And then what other bets would you make?
That one I'm gonna go exotic all the way. That fight's too close. So the odds are going to be.
Yeah, it's a pick 'em.
It's going to be.
And so what? And then for out like a newcomer. What do you mean by going exotic?
Yeah, that was
trying to bet some who's going to win some rounds, like consecutive rounds. Take those bets. I'm going to take a TKO or somebody gets stopped for disqualification. I'm going to take one of those in the bet. I'm not going to waste time. There's a lot of guys that like to slow walk these boxing bets, and I knew he was going to win, so I'm going to bet $100 to win 150. And I won. At least I didn't lose $200. I'm not that type of wager, so I would rather lose $500 than win 100.
Gotcha.
Right.
So if I was to take a bet and say, because this is what I think is going to happen, I think it's going to be a late round TKO stoppage. Mm-hmm. I think Earl's going to stop Terrence late. It's going to be a great fight, but it's going to kind of like, I don't know if you saw the fight last night. It was a great competitive fight between Charlo and my man Castellano from rounds like 1 through 6. But from round 7 through the last round was 10, that's when he broke him down. And, he was strong in the beginning, but I think what's going to happen is because of the size difference between Earl and Terrence, I think he's going to get him late. So, like, is that a late round TKO stoppage? That's an exotic type of
Yeah, that's a different type of bet. That's not a straight up, on the cards, win or lose, unanimous, split decision kind of thing. So that's what most people. That's what those odds are, the plus and the minus. That's what that means. That unanimous decision, who wins, blah blah blah. That's what you get for that. If you go for the TKO or the KO, if you pick KO in certain rounds, you might be able to get some good odds. Like if it's a late round, 12th round KO, is not going to pay that much as versus a 7th round KO.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Say you could pick a KO 1 through 5 or 1 through 6 or something. I've seen that before.
Okay.
I think it's gonna go later than that. Okay.
Right. So
from boxing bets, unless I'm doing the multi-round ones.
Gotcha. So I know that, and this is another quick hit I got for you guys, especially E and Chuck, because both of y'all are like experienced in the betting game. Give our listeners some good betting tips. You know what I'm saying? What do you think of some good betting tips? Or is it just like, hey man, you betting, we all know it's a gamble, regardless, but like what are some good betting tips that you think could, help some newcomers or just help in general?
I'm probably the wrong person to ask because I'm a conservative bettor. So I would say never bet nothing that you don't mind losing.
I was just gonna say the same thing, just in a little bit of a reversal. Be prepared to lose everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do not think you're gonna win.
Nah.
But be prepared to whatever you got in your hand, whatever you want to bet on, be prepared to lose it. That's the only way you'll ever win money in this game.
Yep.
If you come thinking like, the problem with these niggas, and this is the problem that I hate about sports betting being legalized across the country without some sort of information going out to niggas, is right. These niggas are treating this shit like it's a job.
No.
Yeah, you got these guys, it's like, oh man, if I win 110, I could go pay my cell phone bill. Or if I win 300, I could go pay my car insurance. You treat And then what happens is you keep spiraling, and you're gonna chase that bill, and you're gonna chase another bill, and you're gonna chase another bill.
That's gonna be my other joint. Don't chase, bro.
Yeah.
Once you start chasing, it's a wrap. Like, don't chase.
So-
Like, whenever I lose, I lose.
People
That's
have to remember this is strictly entertainment, man.
Yep.
So do you
Yeah.
go into it? Do you guys go into it with the notion of I got $500 and this all I'm betting, or do you say, listen, I'm gonna bet until I'm just done? How is your mindset when you go gamble?
Well, I mean, that depends on the type of gambler you are. Like me, I have a certain limit that I have to play every year just because of who I am in the biz. But
Gotcha.
a lot of people don't have those limits. So I mean, you got first time guys going in trying to do what they got to do. And I was one of those dudes, so I know how this goes. And when I first started, going and coming out here betting in Vegas and all of that, I was doing like, man, I could just do this and I could just make this amount of money. I could just put this amount down and I could try this. I didn't have a lot of money at the time, so I was slow walking my bets because I just didn't have a lot to bet. And then once I get a couple, my wagering starts to go up a little. And it's now more comfortable losing certain amounts that I previously couldn't think of even wagering before.
Okay, cool.
Doing all crazy stuff, just thinking this is like some sort of part-time job, like you an Uber driver now or something, and you're going into these sports trying to make you say, oh, I can make 300 tonight. I come back tomorrow, I win enough.
Yeah, got you.
Nah. Like I'm on a good run right now. Like the past week, I've been on the past couple weeks. I've been on a good run, but yeah, I had weeks where I lost. Like, but I didn't mind losing it because it's like I lost it. Like I look at it as an L anyway. It is what it is. And once you have that mindset, and like it's all fun and it's entertainment. I'm not gambling my mortgage. I'm not gambling I ain't doing none of that.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with gambling your mortgage if you do. Just want to put that out there.
Why you say that?
Yeah.
Chuck, enlighten us. Enlighten me on that. What you mean?
Because you're taking a chance to change your life.
I don't know about that.
There's nothing wrong with gambling your mortgage. If you got it to gamble, go ahead and do it. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, but that was me. I'm too conservative. Like I'm a conservative gambler, son. Like I know me.
But Pete, what Chuck said, if you got it to gamble it,
if you got
your mortgage and use the money to gamble, I'm saying with the same amount of money that it costs your mortgage, it's okay.
Oh no. All right. That part, yeah, I got you on that part. Yeah.
You're gonna lose far more money on women than you ever will on gambling. That's the truth.
Amen to that. That's a bar.
That is.
Hey, it is. I know we keep talking about it, but it's 114-72.
Yeah, 70?
Game over. It's in the fourth quarter. I mean, it's down. It's 4:20 left. But another question I got, because we talk about the online betting, we understand technology and everything. Cryptocurrency. How is that? Do you think that's gonna play a role in the betting game soon?
Cashless wager.
We got a couple Bitcoin machines out here now that's trying to do a little something like that. But we really just getting started with cashless wagering out here now. So I mean it's coming, but I don't think we'll get to a point where niggas is getting paid in Bitcoins from the crap table.
I think that's like the electric car right now. Like really, you know what I mean? Like
it's still too volatile right now to be, cementing it as a form of payment. I mean, cash is still king.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah, cash is still king. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool, man. This is a good show, man.
I had one more thing I was gonna say. It went back to the, betting tips. Like I was saying, be prepared to lose and be prepared to lose a bunch of times.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Before you win. I think my first season I started playing NFL parlays. I lost the first 11 weeks. I did not parlay for 11 weeks straight. I was down 17,000. Next week I hit week 12 parlay 46 grand.
And you back on top.
You back on top. So that's what I'm saying. Like if you nervous, you know what I'm saying?
Scared money don't make no money.
You got to be able to stomach your losses is the point I'm trying to make. You know what I'm saying? If you can't stomach a $50 loss, then this ain't the game to be in. You know what I'm saying? If you're worried about trying to pay a bill, this ain't the game to be in. If you think you're in, this ain't the game to be in.
All right.
What's the best thing to bet on? Sport, casinos. What do you think is the best way What is the best thing, or what do you find the most success in betting?
Go ahead.
Me, I like poker. It's just me because I kind of controlled it a little bit. Cause I mean, that's my biggest thing. I love poker. I get my biggest wins from poker because I can control the game. For me, I had somewhat control of the game a little bit. So, and it's no house odds. I'm playing against people, so that's why I like playing poker for me.
I'm waiting on them poker nights, man.
Nah, for sure.
Waiting on the next one.
I still say the best betting is sports betting. I mean, you're gonna get the best odds for your dough if you look at your bets and your parlays and all of that. The parlay is one of the greatest things ever invented as far as odds go. It really just depends on how much of a parlay you want to play and how many legs. If you can find somewhere that'll give you a 15-leg parlay for a couple dollars, that could be a pretty big payout there. And you got to hit them all, which is less than likely to happen. Yeah. But I mean, it's a lotto tickets, pretty much the same. So I think sports betting still is better than table games because you got that either you win or you lose 50%. That's what I think is the best sports. That's the best way, in my opinion. That's why there's not many sports books and there's a bazillion table games in there.
Got you. This is my last question for you. Being out in Vegas, like I said, I was out in Vegas. I think Lil Wayne was at the table. I've seen a couple of the stars. Name somebody that you bet with that was like a big name.
A couple times. Not of them was all the way in Vegas though. I had I shot dice with Brad Pitt in Louisiana.
Wow.
Oh, that's dope.
Down in Louisiana. And Dwayne Bowe was at the table too at the time.
Wow.
Yeah, nobody knew who he was. I think he was only like his second year in the league when he was there at the table at the time. But he was terrible.
That's the Chiefs receiver, right?
Oh yeah, or former.
I know his ass. He torched us a couple times.
LSU?
Huh?
You go to LSU?
I'm not sure where he went, but I know you're talking about. I can't remember where he went, but
so that was the biggest star I ever played with. But I also played with Ty Lue in the Aria one time. He was also terrible.
Wow, that's dope. You got to shoot dice with. You got to shoot dice with Brad Pitt.
Just go ahead, pass. Square pass dice, bro.
That's crazy.
Just go pass.
Yeah. Hey, Dwayne Bowe went to Louisiana State.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's probably why he was there then.
Yeah.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. I had my best come up at E-House on them dice though.
Oh yeah, he had a nice little game going, man. It was a nice night for you.
Yeah, it was
a hell of a night. He taught me how to play poker, Chuck. I've been playing it ever since.
Fred Smoot.
Oh, Smoot. Yo, I saw Smoot at the MGM.
What was it? It's the Cromwell now, where they got Dre's at in Vegas.
Oh,
called I think Wild Bill's Gambling Saloon.
Okay,
that's the random joint. I know the joint you're talking about.
But at the time, Dre's wasn't what it is now. They only had the after hours Dre's in the basement.
Yeah,
joint up top with the pool and all that shit. Yeah, Fred Smoot was on the crap tables with us at the joint right there. Because that crap table was like right by the elevator. It was right there.
Yeah. So
you know who gamble at the MGM all the time? Everybody bump into him all the time. AI stay up there.
Yeah, he do.
The joint right here in DC, Maryland.
Yeah. So the reason why I asked, because I think I was in Vegas when I went to Vegas. It was the best time you can go. It was All-Star Weekend.
That's
So
crazy.
So you already know.
Hey,
come out here.
I mean, you just everything was high price, but you just gonna see everybody.
Yeah, All-Star.
All-Star Weekend. So that's why I was asking who was it, I mean, at that time I wasn't into betting and everything like that. We were just out there for All-Star Weekend. So that's why I asked who was somebody that being out Vegas.
You see all the time though. That's the thing that most people don't understand. A lot of people think that they have to be a marquee weekend to just bump into those cats.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Being as though Vegas is the Mecca. Like that's why I asked you who have you, and it's funny that you say Brad Pitt, but you was in Louisiana when you did it. That's great.
He lived there. I didn't even know that at the time.
Oh, okay.
So they lived maybe like 7-8 blocks up the street in the French Quarter.
Wow.
Because I was like, he just really shot dice with Brad Pitt, and everybody was like, he lives here. And I was like, oh, okay. Like I thought it was a like big deal. You know what I'm saying?
So they see him all the time. It's nothing to them.
It's like the same man. Yeah.
Okay, cool, man. This is another great show, man. Another great show in the books, man. Chuck, appreciate you to be on the show, man, giving us some information.
Absolutely.
Is there anything else you want to give the listeners that, that they could take with them? Any little tidbits that they could take with them about this sports betting and gambling and all this stuff? Anything else you got?
Yeah, just keep betting, man. Keep gambling. Keep doing it all. Everything that you're doing, whoever's doing the bets, keep gambling. Don't listen to your wives, your girlfriend, any of that shit. Keep betting. Do the bets that you want to make, not the bets that these girls want to do. And if anybody asks you, you're gonna get. I know you hear this probably a lot of times. You guys will hear this very soon. There's gonna be women that will come and say the most things that we will never ever like to hear. Teach me how to bet.
No.
Resist the urge, my good man. Resist the urge. Here's the biggest thing that I want everyone to take away from, especially all our male listeners. Ladies, sorry, but I really don't give a fuck. For the men, if you are gambling and you win money at the casino, when you get home to your woman and she asks you, how much do you win? The first thing you need to know is you did not win any money. Not a damn dime. You broke it.
That's the first teaser of this show, right there.
Pretty much.
If you want to spend money, you did not win. You broke it.
Man, that drain ain't come through, man. Dang. Goddamn epicenter.
Lose no money. You know, if you don't win, you can't tell her you lost. So you have to tell her that you broke even.
Got you. So we do a part of the episode, and I want to kind of keep this part in. We always ask, like, who would you like to have a bar drink entree with? But since we're talking about sport betting, name me 3 people, Chuck, you would like to have that you would like to be gambling with, whether it's table or sports betting. Name 3 people.
I don't know who listens to these podcasts or how far is this thing gonna go, but I'm gonna call on my man Vegas Dave.
Oh yeah, Vegas Dave. Yeah.
Vegas Dave, because I want a sports bet with Vegas Dave. Even though I know it's probably not gonna happen because last time I heard he was like suspended or something.
Yeah. Remember Jimmy the Greek?
Yeah. I remember Jimmy. I would also love. Well, I do this anyway, but let's see. As far as on a table game, who would I like to bet with? I would like to bet with Michael Wilbon.
Oh, that's a random one.
Yeah, because he talks shit about sports and all that. I want to see what this dude actually knows on the actual table. He's a Chicago guy, so most of those guys are pretty good at gambling. So we'll see what happens there. Third person, I'm gonna pick a chick. Who would I like to gamble with there? You know what? I'm gonna go with Sage Steele.
Oh, I like that.
What's the chick with the head?
Which one? It's a couple.
That's Pam Oliver.
Pam Oliver. Okay.
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
That's your thing.
I want to bet on football with Pam Oliver. I want to make a parlay with Pam Oliver.
Got you.
That's hilarious.
What about you?
My first one would be Phil Ivey, the poker player, because he's like the GOAT to me. And I would want to gamble with Kevin Hart, because he gambles, and he's funny. So that'd be a good place to gamble with. And I would gamble with Drake because he gambles too,
Okay, cool.
I can't with Drake though, because I'm gonna feel like a loser. You know what I'm saying?
Every time I see Drake at the game with his son, I'm like, that damn Pusha T. Hate him do that,
man. Kenny, what about you, Kenny?
For me, Pete Rose, Charles Barkley, and my good man E. Because I was in Vegas, and me and my man talked. I'm gonna give a reason why I say E, because we was in Vegas. We woke up and we was like, man, he was really feeling betting on the Lions versus the Vikings. And he said, "Man, Kenny, what you think about put some money on the Lions versus the Vikings?"
Mind you, the Lions haven't won a game all season just at this point.
Great input. Yeah, I forgot to say that. I said, okay. I said, this is a good game for Kirk Cousins to wet the bed. That was my response. I said, you know what? F it. We go into the game. Whatever happened, how much we put on it?
We put 100.
Put $100 down. The way we wanted to place the bet, we would have won huge off of that. But the guy put our bet in wrong.
Yeah, he gave us the points. We wanted to go with just straight up Lions. He gave us the points, so we only doubled our money basically.
So
we would. I think we would have won like 600 something like that. We only won 200.
Okay. Anybody? You said Pete Rose, Ian. Who else? One more.
Charles Barkley.
Charles Barkley, that's right.
Chuck is a good one. Charles Barkley be a good one.
Yeah.
I guess for me, first one would be Mark Cuban.
Okay.
I would love to bet with Mark Cuban, man. I'm a big basketball fan, so I would love to bet. I would love to bet with AI. And I would like to bet with, because they only bet KD, but I would really like to bet with Skip and Shannon. I really want to see. I would like to bet with them. I just know it'd be a great time at the table with them too.
Yeah, that's a fact.
I'll go betting with the homies, betting with the guys. Huh? No inclusion of women at all.
Oh, if it was, it would be Doris Burke.
Okay.
Nah. One of my girls though, I would bet with L Duncan.
Yeah.
What's the Taylor girl? The media girl.
Taylor. I know, yeah,
Maria Taylor.
No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're talking about Joy Taylor.
Joy Taylor or Joy Taylor.
The other girl that was on the podcast with
I know.
With Pivot. She was on the Pivot. Remember Shannon Crowder?
Yo, I know you're talking about
Taylor Brooks. Taylor Brooks.
Yeah, Taylor Brooks.
Matter of fact, let me switch that. Doris Burke, I love her because I love her basketball mind, but I would love to bet with Joy Taylor too. Joy Taylor. I would love to bet with Joy Taylor.
I would love to shoot dice with Beyonce.
Yo, Beyonce drinks beer too, which is kind of cool to me.
7-Up.
Yeah.
I feel
you must know something. You must know something we don't know, man. Like
and she said, say it twice.
7-Up.
Oh, okay.
Cool. Man, like I said, man, it was another great show, man. Chuck, man, appreciate you, E. Appreciate you guys being on the show, man. This was a little different for us, man, but it was a dope show, man. Thank you for all the information you gave. Like you said, everybody, bet. That's the thing, man. Sports gambling is big. You know what I'm saying? Table betting is big, man. So just get out here and bet. Just don't think it's going to change your life. If you can't, and like he said, go into it, lose. They think you're going to lose.
And lie to them. I was going to say
to the ladies, lie to the ladies. I knew where you was going. Lie to the ladies. Jesus, right? Put the drink down, Kenny. That's your problem, man. Put the drink down. My God.
I'm always good for it, man.
You was gonna say that on Sunday. Yikes.
Oh man.
Like I said, man, another episode of in the books, man. Bar Drinks and Entrees, episode 31. Thank y'all again. Like I said, man, subscribe to the channel, YouTube channel. Can you help me out? YouTube at Bar Drinks and Entrees.
We on all Instagram. We on all available. We on all available platforms. Any platform streaming of your choosing. We on Google, everything. So
subscribe to the YouTube channel, Bar Drinks and Entrees. Follow us at Bar Drinks and Entrees on Instagram and Facebook, man. And make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, man. With that being said, man, we out of here.
Till next time.